being a corporate CEO, and then last 2.5-3 years on an entrepreneurial journey, and last 4-5 years on various government bodies, I'm actually enjoying the positions in the government bodies. I'm a big fan of Y Combinator Accelerator. It's a very famous Silicon Valley accelerator company. In fact, our private equity, which I run, called TurboStart, and especially the union government has about 14-15 different ministries under union government, gives excellent startup funding, and always there is a special focus for women entrepreneurs.
I would like to welcome you to this podcast of Indore Management Association, and we are very delighted to have you on this 31st IMA Conclave. Sir, myself, CA Garjana Rathore, a commercial person talking to a technical man. I have read about you that you have played very different roles, served very different boards, had been into a lot of companies and was at very high positions too. So, which is one role which has impacted a lot in your life?
Awesome. Namaste madam, and happy to be part of the 31st International Management Convention of Indore Management Association. In fact, indeed a pleasure for me to be here. Such a wonderful August gathering and a great hospitality. I would say lovely students here. So the question is a very tough question for me to answer, because the first question, for me, the roles are passing clouds in my view, because the best role what I play is as Bala. That's the best role I play. And of course, because these positions, be a CEO or a board of director or an investor or a chairman of an institution or a few government bodies, all those things keep coming and keep going, right? So as an individual, as Bala, what is the kind of contribution that I make to the society? How do I learn things, keep continuously learning everything in my every role? What sort of value addition I can make it to at least one individual in this world? I think these things play a vital role, rather than me having enjoying the celebrating the roles. Of course, being in various positions is truly blessing. Of course, it's a ceremonial, right? So, but still, since you asked that question, I would compare this way: being first 20 years on a professional life, being a corporate CEO, and then last 2.5-3 years on an entrepreneurial journey, and last 4-5 years on various government bodies, I'm actually enjoying the positions in the government bodies, because that really helps us to share my learnings, share a lot of positive aspects for the growth of the country, growth of the nation. I think I'm really enjoying that, and all these things are pro bono. So which it means is like, I don't expect anything to do that work. So that gives me a lot of satisfaction.
But then you are nurturing new talent.
Yeah.
You are making them grow. And that education policy, working on that is actually a big thing.
Right.
We have a STEM system of education. What changes do you think new education policy will bring in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, NAP 2020 is, I would say, an amazing initiative by the Union government. I'm sure, madam, you might have heard, India used to be a temporary member in Washington Accord until 2014. To become a permanent member of Washington Accord, it was so difficult for us to become a permanent member of Washington Accord. What it means, the degree that is given by the universities under UGC or under AICT or any engineering college have to be recognized globally at par. That's what the permanent membership got for India, which is good. And what next is the outcome-based education.
Right.
Today, the talent potential of India is fantastic and phenomenal, especially the Gen Y and Gen Z students are fantastic. But the problem here is the education system was in such a way where I read something, I understand something, and I just leave something, right? So if somebody is getting a school education for K-12 for 12 years and then undergrad for 3 or 4 years, or then post-graduation next 2 years, when they come out of the education, academia, and get into industry, what value the industry get out of them is something very important, right? So anybody who gives us a job would like to see some value.
Absolutely.
That outcome was not measurable those days. But the last few years, the outcome is began to measure. And especially the NAPs the core outcome of MPC is to measure the outcome-based education. So, coming back to what was the question actually? I missed that question.
My question was that what changes do you feel that
so
this
STEM
policy is going to
See,
bring
I think
in?
the STEM background, India is a STEM country, I would say, because we are very, very strong in research, development, science, technology, engineering, management. But I look at STEM is alone not sufficient or not enough for the success of the students and for the country. It should be a STEAM education. Science, engineering, technology, arts, mathematics. So arts play a very, very, very important role, because that's where the leadership comes in, that's where humility comes in, that's where the critical thinking, analysis, collaboration, positivity with the relationship, empathy, all those things comes in, culture.
Yeah.
So I think the arts play a major role. So India is basically a STEM country, and we also fundamentally have these arts qualities. So we are looking at more than STEM, STEAM education.
One more thing has come up now. What role of finance play? Because we have talked now of STEM. Where does the finance stands in this? Because myself being commerce person, I'm looking more from my angle. Because a lot of startups I also see, they understand the idea, they know how it is developed, but so far as the costing part is concerned, they lack in that. So doesn't finance and commerce play equal role in nurturing this?
Absolutely. Finance and commerce play a vital role. In fact, interestingly, although the last 22 years I've been a technology guy, my graduation was finance and then MBA from Calcutta. I am Calcutta. But so again, so you can understand a finance guy who ran last 22 years of technology organization. So finance guys can do anything, right? So it's all the passion. I think the overall startup ecosystem has evolved in this country in the last 5, 6, 7 years is phenomenal growth. I think we are the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, and I'm sure we should be number 2. Probably why not number 1? Maybe 2047. That's what Viksit Bharat is all about. I think a lot of progressive growth is there in startup ecosystem. Of course, a lot of challenges. Today, one of the management student was asking me in the hotel when I was starting to the conference, sir, one question, why a lot of startups fail in India? Right. In fact, the answer was told by our IIM Indore director in this first opening conference. We have not seen the failures of rest of the countries. Absolutely. That's why we are talking about our failure. So without failure, nobody would have come up to what it is today. So I think the startup ecosystem definitely needs a lot of rapid changes, a lot of mindset changes is needed. Because the passion with our youngsters, the commitment, the idea, the creativity is phenomenal. But we need to understand how we are progressing, right? That mindset shift is really lacking, but I think a lot of changes is happening in the country.
We see a lot of kids or a lot of people watching Shark Tank and learning about startup culture and startup thing. What role do you think Shark Tank like program play in our startup culture?
Yeah, see, I'm a big fan of Y Combinator Accelerator. It's a very famous Silicon Valley accelerator company. In fact, our private equity, which I run called Turbo Start, we have about $5 million and $50 million fund, and we invest in about 80 companies. So we don't stop by only investing, because that's something, it's a business. I mean, of course,
very true.
See, everybody want to earn money, no doubt about it. But for that, you have multiple ways to. I can put in share market, go to a mutual agreement, invest in publicly listed company, a lot of ways to there. But startup is like giving back to the country as well. You are giving back to the ecosystem. You're building the ecosystem. So when I invest, I don't stop only by investing. Rather, the Y Combinator Accelerator is, we help them to show a way to market. We help them to design their product. We help them to set up their support system. We help them to set up their legal system, compliance system. So all these things are not the core for a startup. Core is their product, their idea is the core.
But
so let them focus on that. We will support all those things. So this is something I'm seeing a huge fan base in the startup is getting in the Y Combinator kind of system. And we are a small private equity, $50 million is not a big fund, but the impact what this kind of model would make will definitely be transformational.
Actually, a small town kid is also understanding what exactly is a startup is. So that is what can be the impact of Shark Tank, we can see.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot of females coming up in a startup. We have a lot of female-led startups. In fact, in 2014, the funding of female-led startup was $0.456 billion, which has increased to $1.1 billion. What role do you think in future females play? And one more question which again has come up from that education wala thing. In what way they should be nurtured that they can play a better role in this ecosystem?
That's a great question, much needed question. See, fundamentally I think the women entrepreneurs or female are very strong in resiliency.
Very true.
Very strong in creativity, very strong in innovation. Only thing is they don't realize that.
Yeah.
Right? That probably that because of the cultural transformation. But today you see about 18% of the overall unicorns in India, about 112 unicorns are there. Almost 17-18% are women entrepreneurs.
Led, very true.
And you see the funding, almost 20% of the overall funding that has flown in startup is for women entrepreneurs.
Very true.
And you see a lot of schemes, even take Indore, we are in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh today. In Madhya Pradesh gives 20% more funding for women entrepreneurs.
True.
Apart from the 15% of initial incentive for any entrepreneur, which is about 35% funding.
Yeah.
So this is not only Madhya Pradesh, most of the states and especially the union government has about, I think about 14-15 different ministries under union government gives excellent startup funding, and always there is a special focus for women entrepreneurs. I think the one area where I would like to see the women entrepreneurs growth is there should be some special sessions, special classes, master classes for women entrepreneurs or potential women entrepreneurs, aspirants. Like for example, Indore Management Association should host a separate women management conclave. Right?
Sir, we do have a women management conclave that is full day power packed conclave only for females. And last year it was amazing success. I mean, we have females from different arenas in that also.
Awesome. Yeah.
The major challenges which startup in India face is the complex regulatory framework. See, startup people are basically technical people. They are more into their technical things. When it comes to legal compliance and all, it is a big hurdle for them. Do you also feel that, yeah, it is a hurdle for the newcomer startups or something, regulatory frameworks?
It's a very important question. It will be a hurdle if somebody doesn't want to follow the law of the land. That's how I look at it, because see, you get into a job, right? You have to fulfill your provident fund, ESI, income tax. If you start a business, you have to pay income tax, you have to register under GST, you have to get a PAN. So I think the laws of the land is not just for the country alone, it is for the benefit of the individual and for the organization, because when they need money, they go for a valuation, they ask for an investor. These are the perimeters, these are the parameters which helps them to measure. So in my view, this is not a hurdle. But as you rightly pointed out, a lot of startup founders have the problem of being a compliant company. But my recommendation and suggestion to every startup I made is, you please set the compliance at the earliest, at the beginning of your startup. Don't wait for 1 year, 2 years, then you're going to get back and be up to the mark. So it's a very simple procedure, Ms. Garjana. I mean, I don't think it is very complex. See, all they need to do is once they come under DPIIT, once there is a
they have
startup,
to register themselves.
They're not going to spend much. And once they fall under any of the government grants, most of the things are
taken care of. Very true.
So it's only a question of filing that and periodically, and those things our students, our startup founders miss.
Actually understanding that it is not that complex as they feel.
Right.
Sir, actually technology is evolving. AI, then ML, then IoT. Then next we are talking of quantum computing. Where we are heading towards, I mean?
That's a big question, big challenging question, because technologies keep changing every day, especially, see, I want to say this, when Instagram came, it took about 75 days to get 1 million followers.
True.
Okay? When Facebook came, it took almost 173 days to get 1 million followers. When Gen AI came, it took 5 days to have 1 million followers. Okay? And against, even now, no one can give a clear use case of the impact of AI, Gen AI. Everybody talks about Gen AI, everybody talks about, but for sure, the AI and Gen AI will have a very, very deep role to play across the globe for next 10 years, 10 to 12, 15 years, definitely. Multiple use cases, lot of downtrends will happen, which will pave way to
much higher things.
That's how. This quantum computing, see, one thing I want to say, see, our union government is really focusing on setting up councils for all these things.
Right.
The AI council has been set up, quantum computing council has been set up. So a lot of industry folks, a lot of academicians, a lot of the researchers been part of this council. I'm part of few councils. So I know where the country is heading towards, but again, it has to percolate down to the academia. That's where the challenge is.
Absolutely.
Okay, that will happen over a period of time.
Because the thing what happens is that we are teaching kids AI, and by the time they came out of thing, it is quantum. So the shift becomes, I mean, every day the kids have to evolve to get into the arena. So that is a big thing.
That's a one simple tip. When I keep visiting colleges, one thing I always tell the students is to open a LinkedIn account. Okay, they are busy in Insta, they are busy in Facebook and a lot of things, which is okay, I mean, nothing wrong in it. But let them also spend some time on LinkedIn. That gives a phenomenal knowledge base for them, self-learning. They can connect with people, they can connect with the industry, follow the trends, get the updates instantly, feel connected. I mean, that's the best way for somebody to even self-learn and self-updated. So I think, so these technologies keep evolving. I don't have any judgment what's going to do what, but AI and the Gen AI impact will definitely be very strong in our country, globally as well, not only for our country, for the next 15 to 20 years is going to play a vital role. So better get used to AI.
Used to it rather than ignoring. In Indore, being in central India, and we are also developing a good startup ecosystem at Indore. Tomorrow, if you get some opportunity to have a startup culture at Indore and we want you to invest, whether you will be interested in investing in some startups?
Absolutely. See, Madhya Pradesh, it's a very unique state. I've not been here for many times, I've been here a couple of times, but the uniqueness of Madhya Pradesh is agriculture, textile, and this is the cleanest city, Indore. So as of now, about 3,525 startups are there in Madhya Pradesh, as per the Madhya Pradesh startup policy. Right? So your question, if you will you invest, certainly why not? We will definitely consider. In fact, last month we have actually signed an MOU with Orissa, IIT Bhubaneswar, to commit about $3 to $5 million in front of our Honorable Union Education Minister. So definitely good ideas where students, the startup founders are willing to contribute for the growth of the nation, for the technologies, impact on technology and change the life of the people. We'll be certainly happy to invest. But only thing is, we are not a company who will invest on large capital infused companies. So we are deep tech, SaaS, we are a deep tech SaaS startups. Anything irrespective of any domain, it could be healthcare, edtech, fintech, agrotech, legal tech, or it could be a simple e-commerce. Anything we can definitely will be happy to consider that, definitely.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Jai Hind. Thank you.